Have you ever stood somewhere you were absolutely sure you belonged, then felt the floor shift under you anyway? Welcome! If you've been here before, you know these stories. Start in places that are supposed to be safe. This one starts at a wedding reception. I walk into my daughter's wedding reception the same way I walked into every school play and hospital waiting room. Not proud, not scared, just present. My name is Marie, 72 years old. I step up to the check-in table and give my name. Clear, calm, the way you do when you don't expect resistance. The tablet keeps scrolling. Slows, stops, starts again. The young man's smile thins. He doesn't look at me right away. Then he does. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not seeing you here. Behind him, the room keeps moving. Music thumps low. Glasses clink. Someone laughs like they've already had too much champagne. The smell is sweet and sharp at the same time. I wait. This has to be a mistake. Lists get mixed up. Names drop. It happens. He turns the screen toward me. Nothing changes. That's when I notice her. My daughter stands a few steps inside the room, bouquet lowered eyes already on me. Not confused, not surprised, watching. I walk over myself. No scene, no raised voice. I keep it small. She doesn't pretend. The corner of her mouth lifts. Not mean. Certain. Did you really think you were invited? The words don't hit hard. They sink, like something letting go inside my chest. I don't argue. I don't ask why. I nod once slow, like I just got instructions I won't be following. I turn around. The door closes behind me with a soft, padded sound, like the room doesn't want to remember I was there. Humiliation isn't loud. It doesn't crash. It drains. Leaves everything hollow. I sit in my car longer than I should, hands resting on the steering wheel. The bass from inside still vibrates faintly through the walls. I don't text. I don't call. I don't go back in. At the time, I tell myself I'm choosing peace. The story you are about to hear is a fictional work created by the writing team at Her ShaDown. Names, events, and details are crafted for storytelling purposes, though the emotions behind them are very real. I start the engine and pull away before anyone notices the empty space where I was supposed to be. I don't know it yet, but that quiet exit is the last easy choice I'm going to make. Why does staying quiet sometimes feel harder than exploding? I leave the venue through the side door. My shoes stick for half a second to the pavement. Someone spilled a drink near the exit. Sweet. Sour. The kind of smell that turns bad fast. I don't look back. I sit in my car with both hands on the steering wheel, not gripping it, just holding on. The engine is off. The radio stays dark. My chest feels packed tight, like something got wedged in there and didn't break, just stayed. Her face keeps replaying, that small smile, the certainty of it. I imagine walking back inside. I picture her turning when she hears my heels. Picture saying something sharp enough to cut through the music, something that makes people stare. Something she can't laugh off. My fingers tap once against the wheel. I don't do it. I start the car and pull away. The drive home blurs. Red lights, green lights, familiar streets I don't remember choosing. I park and sit there again longer this time, forehead against the steering wheel, breathing slow like I'm trying not to spook myself. Part of me hates the quiet choice. It feels like shrinking, like folding myself down to fit a space that doesn't want me anymore. But there's another part, quieter, colder, the part that notices things. That part remembers how she didn't flinch, how she didn't check the room before speaking, how comfortable she was saying it out loud. Inside, my phone lights up. One message, then another. Short. Careful words from family members who already know something went wrong, but don't want to name it yet. I don't answer. I take off my shoes and stand in the kitchen. The clock on the wall ticks too loud. I pour a glass of water and don't drink it. I just hold it until the cold seeps into my palm. Staying quiet doesn't feel noble. It feels unfinished. And somewhere under that calm, something settles in. Not anger, not grief. Attention. I don't argue tonight. I don't explain myself. I let the silence stretch and sit where I left it. Tomorrow, I'll decide what it means. When did love stop sounding like my name? She used to call me from school just to complain. Not emergencies, not tears, just noise. A substitute teacher who talked too slow. A friend who copied her homework. The cafeteria running out of fries again. I'd be in the middle of something, phone tucked under my chin, nodding like she could see it. Uh-huh. Yeah. Tell me the rest. I wasn't gentle all the time. I snapped. I rushed her. I worked late when I shouldn't have. I missed a few things I can't rewind. I also showed up. Every time she actually needed me, I was there. Sick days, late nights, long drives where neither of us talked much, but she didn't hang up either. The change didn't come with a fight. That's what still throws me. It came in pieces. Calls turned into texts. Then fewer of those. Busy, later. I'll let you know. She started making decisions without looping me in. Small ones at first, appointments, trips, plans I heard about afterward like they were already done and I'd missed my window to matter. Once I asked why she hadn't told me. Not accusing, just asking. She didn't look up from her phone. I didn't think you'd care. That line stuck. Not because it was cruel, because it was casual. After that, I stopped asking so much. I told myself this was normal. Kids grow up. They pull away. People say it like it's supposed to make you feel better. It didn't. There were moments I could have pushed back. Times I felt it slipping and chose to stay quiet instead. I told myself I was being respectful, giving space. If I'm honest, I was tired. And part of me was afraid that if I pushed, I'd hear something I wasn't ready for yet. So I let the distance stretch. I answered when she called. I didn't chase when she didn't. Looking back, that's where it shifted. Not the wedding, not the list. Right there. When I stopped sounding like home and started sounding optional. How many times can you be sidelined before it stops being an accident? The wedding wasn't the first time. It just felt cleaner, final. Before that, there were meetings I wasn't told about. Not big family sit-downs. Smaller ones. The kind that happen fast and get framed as errands. I'd hear about them later, usually in passing, like they'd slipped someone's mind. One afternoon, a folder slid across the kitchen table. Not tossed, placed, careful. Just sign here, Mom. It's temporary. She didn't look up when she said it. Her finger tapped the corner of the page like she was marking a parking spot, waiting. I skimmed. Too fast. I caught words like administrative and short-term. Nothing jumped out. I told myself that meant it was fine. I signed. The pen scratched louder than it should have, cheap ink, dry. It hesitated, then flowed like it needed permission. I remember thinking the pen was dying. I didn't think about what I was giving away. Later, I asked for a copy. Not right away, a few days after. It's handled, came back quick. I'll send it when I find it. It never came. After that, things shifted more. Calls I wasn't looped into. Decisions already made by the time I heard them. When I questioned it, the tone changed, not defensive, patient, like I was slowing things down. This is easier if one person handles it. I let that sit. I told myself I was being practical, that it was smart to let younger hands manage the details. I told myself stepping back was generous. If I'm honest, I didn't want to fight over paperwork. I didn't want to be that parent, the one who needs every line explained. So I stayed out of the way. I nodded. I trusted the room. Looking back, that was the first real cut, quiet, polite, everyone smiling. I wasn't pushed out. I stepped aside. What if the thing they took from you never fully left your hands? I pull the boxes from the back of the closet, the ones I never labeled because I thought I'd remember. Cardboard soft at the corners. Paper that smells like dust and time. I spread everything across the table and don't rush. I don't trust rushing anymore. I read slower now, line by line. I mouth words the way I used to when things mattered. Administrative, temporary, authority. I circle phrases with a pen that still works. That alone feels like progress. Halfway through, something clicks. Not relief. Recognition. I didn't give up everything. Not legally. Not really. There are gaps. Clauses that end where they shouldn't. Signatures that authorize access but don't transfer ownership. A line that says pending review and never names who gets the final say. That line is mine. It always was. They assumed I wouldn't check. They assumed age meant confusion. They assumed I'd be embarrassed to ask questions late. My phone buzzes on the table. Her name. I let it buzz. It stops. Buzzes again. Do you know where the old trust documents are? The message is short, casual. Like she's asking where I keep the extra batteries. I type back one sentence and delete it, then another. Delete that too. I set the phone face down. I flip to the last page and tap it once with my finger. The paper doesn't move. Neither do I. This doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel clever. It feels cold, like touching metal in winter. Necessary. Unforgiving. I sit there longer than I'll admit, staring at the same paragraph, listening to the clock click its way forward, letting the truth land without softening it. By the time I stack the folders back into a neat pile, my hands are steady. My chest isn't. I don't celebrate. I don't plan speeches. I don't imagine apologies. I make one call. Then I hang up and make another. Whatever comes next, it won't be loud. It won't be public. It will be correct. Is it still kindness if you stay quiet knowing what's coming? I meet the lawyer downtown in a building that smells like old paper and cleaning spray. The hallway echoes when we walk. Every step sounds louder than it should, like the place wants you to know you're being heard. He studies the documents without talking at first. Reads, pauses, turns a page back. His mouth tightens in a way that isn't fear, just caution. This is still active, he says, tapping one section. You didn't surrender final authority here. I nod. I already know that part. He leans back, fingers steepled. If we file now, the timing matters. There will be fallout. Freezes, reviews. People will panic. I tell him to do it anyway. During the wedding weekend. He doesn't argue. He just looks at me longer this time, like he's measuring something that isn't on the page. Once it's submitted, there's no pulling it back. I know. My voice stays steady. That surprises me. I wait for the shake, the hitch, the second thought. It doesn't come. He asks one more question softer this time. Do you want to notify your family? I picture her phone lighting up before the ceremony. Her confidence. That smile at the door. No. The word lands clean. No edge. No apology. He nods and closes the folder. The sound is final. He stands, offers his hand. I take it. His grip is firm, professional, not warm. Outside, my phone is already in my hand. Her name sits at the top of the screen. I don't open the message. I don't read the preview. I don't need to. I stand there longer than necessary, thumb hovering. I could still call. I could still soften it. Frame it as concern. Give her time to adjust. I put the phone back in my purse. That choice settles heavy in my chest. Not regret. Wait. Like something placed where it will stay. I walk to my car and sit for a moment before starting it. The plan is moving now. It doesn't need my feelings to continue. I don't warn her. I let the silence do the work. What happens when consequences don't wait for the music to stop? I'm not there. I'm at home when the kettle clicks off by itself. The sound is sharp, impatient. I let it sit. Steam curls and disappears. I don't rush for anything today. I find out later how it started. Her phone lights up during the ceremony. Not a buzz you ignore. A full ring. Someone near the front shifts in their seat. She checks the screen, once frowns, silences it. Keeps smiling. 2 minutes pass. Another call. Different number. She angles the phone away from the guests, this time. The smile tightens, holds. A third call breaks through. She steps back, whispers something to the person beside her. A hand goes to her arm. Not comfort. Control. The first voice on the line isn't emotional. It doesn't need to be. Words like review and temporary hold don't care where you are standing. The second call doesn't ask questions either. It explains procedures, timelines, what happens next. By the time the vows reach the part everyone waits for, she's no longer listening. Her eyes keep drifting to the aisle like she expects someone to stop her. No one does. Another call comes in. This one from a partner who doesn't waste time on greetings. The tone changes the room. People notice. They always do. A ripple passes. Chairs scrape. Someone coughs too loud. She excuses herself. The doors close behind her with a sound that's heavier than before. Outside, voices lower. Urgent now. Not angry, afraid. At home, my phone stays face down on the counter. I don't touch it. I don't check the time. I pour the hot water out and start again. Fresh cup. Same mug. I don't imagine her panic. I don't picture the fallout in detail. What settles instead is something quieter. The plan working the way plans do once they're released. By the time the ceremony ends, the story has already moved without me. I stay where I am and let it. How many explanations do people expect from someone they erased first? My phone lights up before I finish the first sip of tea. Then again, and again. I don't look right away. I already know who it is. Names I haven't heard in years have a way of showing up when something breaks. I pick it up anyway. Aunt first. Careful words. What's going on, cousin, next? No greeting. Did you do this? An old family friend I forgot still had my number. Please call me. The messages stack fast. Angry ones, confused ones, a few that sound scared but pretend not to be. Everyone wants context. Everyone wants reassurance. No one asks how I am. One message stands out. Short, sharp. From her. Fix this. No hello, no name. Just a command. I type back without thinking. I lived like a stranger. I'll keep doing that. I read it once. Then I send it. The phone vibrates again immediately. I don't wait to see who. I turn it face down on the table. The screen goes dark like it finally understands. The house feels louder after that. The refrigerator hum. The clock ticking. I move the phone farther away like distance still means something. I think about all the chances I gave people to explain themselves, all the patience I called grace, all the silence I convinced myself was maturity. This isn't that. Another message buzzes through the wood of the table. Then another. Someone leaves a voicemail. I don't listen. I don't need the tone to know what it says. I carry the phone into the other room and set it in a drawer. Not gently, not angry, just final. Honestly, that part hurts more than the wedding did, letting them talk to the empty space where I used to respond, letting the story move without my version smoothing the edges. I sit back down and finish my tea while it's still hot. The quiet after feels earned. Is losing control worse than losing family? Things come apart faster than I expected, not loud, not dramatic, just one piece after another refusing to stay in place. I hear about it secondhand. Always secondhand. A cousin calls and doesn't bother pretending anymore. Her accounts are frozen. Then after a pause, quieter. They won't even give her a timeline. Another voice, someone from her side of the family. Tight. Defensive. Deals are on hold. People want answers she doesn't have. No one asks me to fix it. Not really. They circle instead. They want reassurance without saying the word. They want me to blink first. I don't. Her marriage feels the strain almost immediately. That part surprises people. It doesn't surprise me. Pressure has a way of exposing things early. The plans they made assumed stability, assumed silence, assumed I would stay folded where I was put. Truth shows up at the worst times. That isn't cruelty. It's just timing. She leaves me a voicemail I don't listen to. Someone else summarizes it later. She says you ruined everything. I don't argue with that. Ruin depends on where you're standing. There are meetings she's not invited to now. Decisions made without her. Explanations offered too late to matter. I recognize the pattern. I don't point it out. I don't celebrate. There's nothing to toast. I don't interfere either. I don't make calls. I don't correct rumors. I don't step in to soften anything. People expect that part. The cleanup, the grace, the motherly smoothing over. I let the consequences sit where they land. What she lost wasn't just access or control. It was the certainty that things would always bend back into place. That confidence she wore at the door. That assumption that I would absorb whatever was handed to me. I feel tired more than anything. Not satisfied, not victorious. Just done carrying weight that was never meant to be mine. When the calls slow down, I notice. When the noise thins, I breathe easier. Whatever comes next, it won't involve fixing what broke this way. What choice sticks? Because you never undo it. I live somewhere else now, not far. Far enough. The mornings are quieter. Different routine. Coffee first, phone later. Some days I forget to check it at all. I don't reach out. She doesn't either. A neighbor I barely know asks once casual, like it's small talk. Family nearby, I shake my head. Not anymore. That's it. No follow-up, no pity. I like that. There are moments I think about calling. They come fast, then fade. Usually when I pass a bakery she used to like or when I hear a song we played too loud in the car years ago. The thought shows up, sits, leaves. Other days, nothing comes. Those days feel cleaner. A letter arrives months later. No return address, her handwriting. I don't open it right away. I let it sit on the counter for a week. When I do open it, there's no apology, just blame. A neat line accusing me of destruction, like that's a fact, not a feeling. I fold the paper once, then again. I put it in a drawer I don't open often. I meet the lawyer one last time. He slides the final documents across the desk. Everything's settled. Permanent. He waits for a reaction. Are you all right with this? I look at the signature. My signature. Steady. Yes. Outside the air feels lighter, not happy. Lighter. Like I set something down and didn't pick it back up. I don't go back. Not to the venue. Not to the role I used to play, not to the version of myself that kept absorbing things to keep the peace. Here's the lesson I learned the hard way. Silence isn't weakness when it's chosen, and boundaries aren't cruelty when they come after being erased. You don't owe access to people who treat your presence as optional. Some doors don't need closure, they just need to stay closed. I turn the key to my place and step inside.